Stop waiting for it to get better, because it won't. Not magically, not next month, not when you finally have time. That's the thing about waiting. It feels innocent, hopeful even, but it's actually one of the most subtle forms of self-sabotage. You call it patience, I call it quiet surrender. Hi, I'm Miss Muithathi, a creator, an entrepreneur, and a mom. What most people don't know is that behind every video that I make, I'm also fighting to keep my daughter's medication covered. Her meds are a non-negotiable expense that eats through almost everything that I am. But I refuse to quit building, creating, and showing up here. So if my content has ever given you value, whether it made you laugh, think, or inspired you to make a move, consider buying me a coffee. Every single coffee goes to keeping her treatment consistent, and it also helps keep this channel alive. Thank you for standing with us, and every drop of support counts more than you know. All right, back to the message. Because today, I'm coming for that passive part of you that's been hiding behind maybe next year. Stay with me. Here's the truth that nobody wants to admit. Most of us aren't waiting for things to get better. We are waiting for permission to start making them better. We are busy convincing ourselves that one day the pain will shrink, the money will come, the energy will return. Then we'll finally start doing something. Who are you kidding? But my dear, that's not how it works. Life doesn't improve on autopilot. It just doesn't work like that. Waiting always feels safe just because it delays responsibility. It lets you blame time, the economy, your ex, your boss, your parents, anyone but you. And don't get me wrong, I say that with love, okay? Because I've been there, I've waited too. I've sat in my room convincing myself that maybe if I stay still long enough, God or luck or even a miracle M-Pesa message will fix everything. Spoiler, it didn't. My core message is agency over apathy. You want to know why this mindset is liberating? This is because when you stop waiting, everything changes. Number one, you stop being a victim of your own circumstances. You realize, wait a minute, I actually have some power here. Maybe not over everything, but enough to move one piece forward. Okay? Number two, it creates urgency. Because once you stop lying to yourself that somebody will save you, you wake up and realize, oh, that somebody is me. Actually, I'm the adult in the room. I have to fix it. So. And number three, it forces honesty. That's the part most people skip. Stopping the waiting means you have to look at yourself without the filters. Without the one day it will all make sense fairy tale. You have to call things what they are. You see, your finances, they are not complicated. You're just avoiding them. That relationship you're in, it's not confusing. You're just scared of the answer. That business that you're running isn't stuck. You're afraid to pivot. Let's call a spade, okay? Not a big spoon. And when you start facing that kind of truth, to be honest, it burns at first. Inawasha, inauma. Huh? But then it builds muscle. And muscle is what you need. Let's talk about better. Redefining better. Because sometimes we set ourselves up for disappointments with that specific word, better. You see, better doesn't mean a sudden breakthrough or a 6-figure month or emotional peace wrapped in a bow. Sometimes better is painfully small. It can look like you finally sent that email that you've been avoiding to send. It can look like you avoid checking your phone when you're anxious. It can look like you opening your bank account and facing the real numbers instead of guessing. Tiny and glamorous acts of courage. That's what better looks like in real life. Don't allow anyone lie to you, okay? You don't need a full transformation. No, you just need a micro move in the right direction. But here's the catch. They won't get better can easily turn into they can't. That's the trap. That's the danger of this mindset. So you need to know how to stay balanced, because everything in life has two sides. If you're not careful, you know what happens. The phrase is supposed to end with, on their own, therefore I must make them better. My dear, if you forget that part, you'll start spiraling into hopelessness. And you see, that's not the goal. The goal is awareness, not despair. Courage, not panic. And listen, you also need self-compassion. And I say this because you're not a robot. Some days, action will look like something as simple as brushing your teeth and crawling back to bed. And that's okay. My dear, progress doesn't always roar like a lion. Sometimes it whispers, I showed up anyway. Keep that in mind. So, if you stop waiting, what do you do instead? You get specific. Define the it. Don't say, I want to fix my finances. No. Say, I'll track every expense this week. Start small. I'm talking microscopic small. Okay? Put 1,000 Kenya shillings, that's like about $7, into an emergency fund. Read one page of a money book. Make one uncomfortable call. I'm struggling with that, but we are working on these things together. Okay, so make that one uncomfortable call. So that is movement. And movement beats waiting every time. Then this is key. You build systems, not goals. I say this because goals are emotional. Systems are practical. For example, a goal, I want to save more. The system, every Friday, I transfer 5% to savings before spending anything. Another example of a goal, I want to be happy. The system, I walk 20 minutes every morning before checking my phone. So you see, huge difference. Systems create rhythm. Waiting, on the other hand, kills it. That's the doing stage. Here is your warning label though. Action is messy. Okay? You need to figure out a way to embrace the mess. You'll try things that flop. You'll start habits that last 3 days. You'll get frustrated. And baby, you'll want to quit. And that's fine. That's data, not failure. Every attempt teaches you something your waiting never could. Because when you're moving, even if you're moving imperfectly, you, my dear, are learning. You're adapting. You're alive. You know, some time back, I used to think that clarity came before action. Now, I know it's the other way around. You don't get clear, then move. You move to get clear. Let me be real for a second. I know what it's like to wait for relief, for money, for help, for that one breakthrough moment that changes everything. But to be honest with you, nothing good came to me while I was waiting. Nothing, shiggy, nothing, nada. Every turning point in my life came from some messy conversation or some tired decision I made when I didn't feel ready. For example, I started this channel in chaos. I built my systems while broke. And I'm still here because I stopped waiting for it to get better and decided to get better in the middle of the mess. So, this is your wake-up call. Waiting isn't peace. As I said, it's quiet resignation. Remember, the clock is ticking whether you choose to move or not. Time waits for no man. The money you don't manage keeps managing you. The dreams that you don't act on slowly rot into regret. You don't have to fix everything. You just have to start touching something. My dear, stop waiting for it to get better. Be the reason it does. Well, if this hit home, do something about it. Pick one small thing and move.